Hi, I'm Chuck, KK6USY for Ham Radio Ventures. I was talking to my buddy T.O. the other day, and we have a friend of ours. He's a blind ham, and he's part of the Toads Discord, and he follows Coffee and Ham Radios on all of our channels. And he wanted one of our Ares antennas, which is our 9-to-1. It is one of the more difficult antennas to build because of the way the 3 wires go together, and he wasn't sure that he could build it himself. He didn't seem to find any help around him from hams in the club near his house, or he doesn't have one there, I forget which it is. So I told T.O. since I have all the parts, I'll build the antenna for him. So make sure you stick around to the end to find, oh, I made the antenna for him, and then I started looking at it going, man, I can make some improvements for this thing for somebody that's blind or anybody else. You might want to make the same improvements to yours. Not that it's an improvement, it just fixes a couple of little things that, is in my head. So make sure you stick around to the end to see all the fixes that I do for him, and let's get started. Okay guys, a good friend of mine, he is legally blind and was having a hard time trying to build one of our antennas, but he really wanted one of our 9-to-1 antennas. So I went ahead and built it for him. We don't usually do this, but he's a good friend, so I thought I'd just help him out. You know how the ham community is, always trying to help out. So I'm going to do a couple custom things for him, but I'm going to show you what our build usually looks like. Now this is the 9-to-1. Comes with all the parts to build it, and what I've done so far, and this is not part of the kit here, but I usually do the end like this. And what I do that for is it just gives them some strength. This is just some really good heat shrink. I did get the hole a little off, but all the pressure is on the heat shrink. So, and then the wire down here. So a good way to finish off your antenna. On the other end, for the ground radio, I just put a loop and did the same thing with some heat shrink here. All right. But since he can't really see, he does do portable work. So let me stop this, and I'm going to pull the wire off, and we'll show you a little bit more of what we're going to do here. Okay, so I've got the 9-to-1, and the Smoking Ape did a little test on 9-to-1's efficiency, and the 9 wraps seems to be pretty good all around, so we're going to stick with that. Now our silicone wire is like, I love this stuff. I've had an antenna made out of it for about 4 or 5 years, no problems with it at all, but I'm careful with my stuff. The only concerns that I have when I wind up, say, my in-fed half wave with the ground radio here is maybe I'm careful with it because I can see what I'm doing, but I think for him I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this bolt just so that you don't take the chance of maybe hurting the insulation on the wire, especially on this side, because this is the longer wire. You don't really want to do it. Now the wire is really good, so it's super supple, but the sheathing is not the strongest that I've ever seen. But like I said, I've had one for 5 or 6 years now, no problems, but I am careful. But what I'm worried about him is he can't see when he winds this. I don't know if he has somebody that goes out with him sometimes, maybe. So we're going to get rid of this and maybe get rid of this, and I'm going to show you an alternative way to build this antenna. This is the way it's supposed to be built. So let me do some altercations to this for him. And this is something you can do yourself. It doesn't come with the kit. Actually, a lot of it's not even going to be anything you really need extra, except for maybe one part. And I did tuck, if you notice, I tucked my wire ties down inside. So when I do, I want to test this first, and then I will put the heat shrink on it for him. And he will get his sticker also. So let me fix it and then show you what I did. Okay, and one other thing, check out this nice little mat here. This is from Quirky QRP, and stay tuned for a review on this also. This is it's really well made. I'm going to do a full review on it. Probably be like a 5 or 10 minute review, but make sure you stick around on the channel and wait and look for that. One of our Toad members asked me to show how to take the red part off of these connectors. We supply these with our link dipoles, and I'm going to use that on this antenna. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I thought we explained it, but I guess we didn't explain it very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat the end of this up with just a regular lighter. And after you heat it up, it kind of releases the metal from the plastic. You can also do this on the ring terminals also. They're actually easier. So what I'm going to do is just heat this up, and and try not to burn myself. You guys be careful when you're doing this. And then I'm going to take this pick, and I'm going to take the pick and push it through. You need something that's small enough to go inside, but big enough to push. And as you can see, it popped out there, it looks like. Let me just push a little farther here. What I'll end up doing is using just regular heat shrink on these so that it has heat shrink also. All right, there we go. Okay, so here's the finished product. As you can see up here, I brought this wire around, I cut the connectors off, and I just put a little loop in the end of it and ran the wire through and soldered it. I will put some liquid tape on this later and probably take this and just hot glue gun it down to the body of the frame. It's going to be covered by the heat shrink anyhow, so it doesn't really show. And I put a knot there. Now when I designed this antenna body with the hole through the end out, it gave it really good, that little short part there, gave it really good retention, you know, so it doesn't pull through. But I go ahead and put the knot there anyhow, just to make sure. This is the way I do my end-fed half-wave also. Now at the other end over here, I did put a connector on, but I really could have just soldered it right to that ground lug there. But I went ahead and put it on, and I used the one on the wire, the one on the wire is actually the roundest one because it just doesn't catch on stuff as much. So if you do take it off, it's not really something to take off because you're going to use the ground plane on this anyhow. So now all I got to do is test it and put the heat shrink on and send it to them. So hopefully this video was good for you guys. You learned something different, different ways of making things. That's what I love watching videos, how people do different things. And basically there's nothing wrong with the regular design. It just, I thought certain things for him being blind might be better if I customize it just a little bit for him. So if you did get something from the video, make sure you like and subscribe here. And go ahead and like and subscribe to Coffee and Ham Radios also, and the Smoking Ape TO, Tip Right Offline, and Jim, FEP Labs. I'm Chuck, KK6USY for Ham Radio Ventures. Be safe, get on the air, and let's make some contacts. 73 all.